Because change is so rapid these days, businesses are having a hard time helping their people learn so that they can be as fast as the competition in making change, and they can keep the quality as high or higher than the competition. And it's a race to keep up these days.
But that's a real tension with the long-term goals of a business.
It is, and one of the paradoxes is that if you're really successful at developing your people so that they learn how to be the best at what they're doing now, they'll very often go and seek greener pastures elsewhere to find a new challenge and a new place to use those skills that they've built up with you.
But that's tough on the L&D department, because the L&D department needs to deliver short-term results, long-term capability building, and we're cutting back on what they can do.
Yeah, the learners are becoming more and more autonomous in the way that they want to learn. They don't like having to learn according to somebody else's timetable and somebody else's curriculum. They want what they want, when they want it, and they want to be able to learn it how they want it. And if you can give that to them, that would make them very much happier than providing things on a very timetabled basis that doesn't necessarily fit their personal agenda.
And we could almost use that as our signal for a sea change, because simply making an incremental change in the way you do stuff probably isn't going to work. We need rocket boots to go from the front to way out in front.
Yeah, and I think that if you introduce social learning and you make learning available on demand, those two changes together can make that huge shift.
And that social learning point is quite interesting, because it starts to foster not just communities of practice where people learn from people, which has all sorts of good community feel about it, but also a more practical way of thinking about how people really do their jobs.
Yes, and that also touches on the question of how do you keep people in the company, because if they find that the environment is one in which they can constantly learn as and when they want to, and it's with and through other people, which is the social element, that ties them in to wanting to stay there, because this is a place where they know they can keep developing.
And if the learners need for autonomy, they need to do stuff in the bath, on the train, up a mountain, on your iPad, really important.
Yes, and if you give people that freedom to learn as and when they want, and you link it in with a social aspect, they're constantly talking to others about what they're learning and how they're applying it, then you've got a real change in the learning paradigm.